GOP Senator Tom Cotton. He's a member of the Senate Intel Committee. Good morning to you, Senator.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, too. We've been talking about some of your comments over the last few days because Joe Biden rolled out his economic team, his advisors that are going to be with him next to his side in the White House. And you said it's not about unity. Tell us about this team, what you know about them.
Well, it's about higher taxes and more regulation and an economy that's going to be stuck in neutral. Joe Biden is nominating or appointing several of the people who helped him and Barack Obama, starting in 2009, preside over an economy that remains stuck in neutral, that didn't create the kind of jobs and the kind of higher wages that working class Americans have seen under the Trump administration before this pandemic knocked the economy on its back. That's one reason why it's so disappointing to see him continue to roll out these far left nominees that belie the points he's made since the election, that he wants to govern in a sense of unity or from the middle. What he's going to do is govern from the far left, and that's going to be bad for working Americans.
Senator, there's a couple of people there that stand out. Neera Tanden talked about how she Neera, I should say, how she had food stamps growing up. Her family hit hard times, talked about the need for social programs, so you know where she stands. Also, you find out, too, that she's very busy deleting a lot of her negative comments, some of which were at Joe Biden in particular, and many of them at Republicans. She did a lot of tweeting. And when you look at Janet Yellen, even though Wall Street likes her, she is very critical of the president's tax cuts, right?
Yeah. Well, the problem with Neera Tanden is not so much her tweets, it's her radical liberal ideas. Neera Tanden has no chance of being confirmed. This is a woman who wants Congress to hold up coronavirus relief for the American people so we can give checks to illegal immigrants. There is no chance Neera Tanden's going to be confirmed. She might as well step aside, or Joe Biden might as well withdraw her and go back to the drawing board. Janet Yellen, again, helped preside over a low-growth, stagnant economy that didn't create the kind of jobs and wages that working-class Americans need. It's just another example of how Joe Biden is going back to the Obama-Biden era, when we're going to have more taxes and more regulations, not have a government that works with and stands beside the American people, but rather one that tries to ride the back of the American people with one-size-fits-all policies coming from Washington.
Well, in Washington, the Senate will ultimately have a say whether or not those particular choices of the president-elect are confirmed, and you're a member of the Senate as well. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the fact that there are these twin runoff elections first week in January in Georgia. Essentially, the balance of power for the U.S. Senate hanging in the balance. Brad Parscale, who had been the president's campaign manager until he was removed from his job a couple of months ago, observed this last night with Martha MacCallum on what the role the president should play in the state of Georgia, where he will appear on Saturday. Listen to this, Senator.
What role do you think the president should play in Georgia?
He's the leader of this party. And he needs to stand up, in my opinion, to the people of Georgia and say, go vote for these senators and ask them to start immediately investigating what's happening in this country. Because as everyone wants to blame the president, I think it's the opposite. I think the president is exposing the problem. And that problem is this is a country that just doesn't play fair rules. And I think he just exposes it everywhere. And I didn't know how much until I joined this, how much all those things are out, but it's just, sometimes it's a dirty world.
Senator, what do you think about his observation?
Yeah, the president is going to be in Georgia this Saturday to campaign for David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. It's an all-hands-on-deck situation, starting with the president, heading on down. Vice President Pence is going to go on Friday. I've been there multiple times. Many other prominent Republicans have been campaigning for David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler because control of the Senate does hang in the balance. That means everything that you hold dear, whether it's having lower taxes and keeping more of your money, your guns, not having your tax dollars go to support abortion, not having Washington, D.C. turned into a state with 2 Democratic senators in perpetuity, not packing the Supreme Court. It all hangs in the balance. That's why we have to defeat this trust fund socialist, Jon Ossoff, and Jeremiah Wright's biggest supporter in Georgia, Raphael Warnock, 2 total radicals, so we don't empower Chuck Schumer to run the United States Senate. The president will be there. Many other Republicans are going. It is an all-hands-on-deck situation. We need every Georgian to turn out in the coming weeks to vote for David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler.
Well, the president will be showing up on Saturday, Sunday, right here on the Fox News Channel at 6:45 Eastern. Special coverage of the Georgia runoff debate between Senator Kelly Loeffler and Raphael Warner. You see it right here on the Fox News Channel, and Martha is going to be hosting that. All right, Ainsley.
Yeah, we're also excited about that. We want to watch it, and there's two important elections at the first week of January, so we'll be following that, so watch on Sunday. All right, let's talk about the defense bill, because the president was tweeting out he is going to veto it unless Section 230 is repealed. He tweeted out, he said, Section 230, which is a liability shielding gift from the U.S. to big tech, the only companies in America that have it, corporate welfare, is a serious threat to our national security and election integrity. Our country can never be safe and secure if we allow it to stand. Therefore, if the very dangerous and unfair Section 230 is not completely terminated as part of the National Defense Authorization Act, I will be forced to unequivocally veto the bill when sent to the very beautiful Resolute desk. Take back America now. Thank you. Why is it that social media is so protected from liability?
Well, there shouldn't be, Ainsley. Section 230 dates back to the very dawn of the internet in the 1990s, when these companies were very small, very fragile startups, and we wanted to establish America as the world leader in the internet. That's not the case now. Some of these companies are the biggest and most powerful corporations in the history of the world. They don't just control, for instance, the flow of oil the way Standard Oil once did. They control the flow of information. Look what's happening in those Georgia races. Some of these companies are still prohibiting election ads on their platforms now that more than a month after the last election. That's in part because they don't want Republicans reaching people across the state of Georgia. That's why we need to get rid of Section 230. These companies can't say on the one hand that they're just a neutral platform and therefore they should be immune from any kind of liability, but on the other hand, also say that they get to change or edit or curate or censor content from conservatives across America. We can't allow that, and we shouldn't allow it.
Well, but right now the Republicans are in action. 1.5 million voter contacts a week. They're going to spend up to $20 million. You've been down there. The president's going. Vice president's going again. 500 plus paid staffers, thousands of volunteers. But you got to get to the bottom of what Reverend Warnock is doing. Evidently, getting ballots from people, soliciting ballots from people in New York to vote in Georgia. That doesn't usually work. Real quick, when it comes to the President of the United States going down there, what kind of impact will he make? What should his message be?
I think the president will have a very positive impact in Georgia. Just look across the country. He got 10 million more votes than he did in 2016. Remarkable turnout. And that helped Republicans win the Senate seats that we did, and it helped us gain House seats against all the expectations of the Democrats and the media. We had a huge election in the Senate and the House and state legislatures, not in spite of the president, but because of the president. So he's going to go down to Georgia, and he is going to rally those supporters and urge them to get out to vote for his good friends and allies, David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler, one more time on January 5th. That's what is so essential if you want to preserve everything that we hold dear about this country.
Big military area.
Empower the Democrats and let Chuck Schumer be in charge of the Senate. And that's right, it's a huge military state. You look at people like Raphael Warnock and Jon Ossoff that want to cut the military. Raphael Warnock has said you can't serve God and serve in the military at the same time. That's just how radical these Democrats are.
Well, the debate will be on Sunday night, and we will see the president live on the channel on Saturday. Senator, thank you very much for joining us on this very busy Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you all.